From Creamer Media in Johannesburg, this is the Real Economy Report. Eskom CE Brian Dahms tells us about the influence the 91 billion rand Medupi project is having on Lephalale. The giant Medupi power station project is currently swarming with 17,000 workers, but it's also changing the shape of what was once a sleepy Waterberg town, as Dahms outlined during a recent site tour in which President Jacob Zuma also participated.
This is the largest investment done by the democratic government of South Africa in terms of infrastructure, and this is the first one. This project is therefore more than just building a power station. It was very important for us to drive local industry development. So today, 60% of what you see behind me comes from South Africa. Made in South Africa, the factories are there. We can now get boiler tubes and manipulate them and build these things. The air-cooled condenser that you see behind me, 90% of that is made in South Africa. We have been very adamant that employment must come from the local area, 70 kilometers in this area. We have 17,000 people working here, direct jobs. This does not include people on factories throughout the country. This does not include the mine that has to expand as well. There's another 2,500 people working there. And majority of those people come from this community. And with that, we have seen certainly a doubling of the size of this town. We've doubled this town's GDP. I stayed in this town for 2 years. There used to be no shopping centers. Today you see them. As Eskom, we've invested with our contractors 2.3 billion rand in housing in the town, have upgraded the sewage infrastructure, and have provided for local business contracts to over 700 million rand. And that's significant. If you can imagine 17,000 meals to be served every day, all driven out of this town, it has a significant impact. But the last point I'd like to make, this is a clear demonstration as to how you can use infrastructure development and really drive economic growth, job creation. And I guess that's what our economic policy now is pretty much predicated on in terms of big infrastructure projects.
Other news making headlines this week: Ascension Properties lists on the JSE, advanced economies are holding back global growth, and biotechnology is important to Africa's development. Black-owned property loan stock company Ascension Properties made its debut on the JSE earlier this month.
Our strategy is to grow the portfolio by at least R1 billion a year. We have a pipeline currently of 2.3 billion rand. So I believe that we comfortably will meet that target for the foreseeable future. Our properties are located in Mpumalanga, Gauteng, as well as the Western Cape, in the CBD areas, and our tenancy allow our vacancies to be that low, being predominantly government tenants.
The Nedbank Group says advanced economies are holding back the global economic recovery with slow, staggered growth, a loss of momentum, and a possible fallback into recession in Europe.
I think it's going to be quite tough going, and I think that for us to come out of that, we will have to do things a little bit smarter, we'll have to do things more creatively, and we would have to use this opportunity where really everybody is to some extent or the other in the same boat. We're a very tough global cycle, and we must actually use this opportunity to make long-term improvements to our economy and to, over the long term, increase our capacity to grow.
Researchers said at the Africa Bio Conference that biotechnology has the ability to ensure crop protection, reduces input costs and exposure to harmful chemicals, and can also improve grain quality.
There's Africa, there's now Burkina Faso, and there's now Egypt in Africa growing GM crops commercially. They could look at each of those countries. And there are ones like Kenya and Uganda who are on the verge of bringing crops, and who also had biosafety frameworks established. So there's 6 or 9 African countries where people could look at. If you're a new country wanting to kick off, you could go there and see what they're doing and get their take on it.
That's Creamer Media's Real Economy Report. Join us again next week for more news and insight into South Africa's real economy.